Hi, everyone. I wanted to spend today talking about BOA Technology, an organization of around 200 employees with $1 billion in revenue that I work for. I wanted to break out how the topics in our text really align with our CSR strategy. And so I'm going to talk about this in two parts, the environmental and then the social aspect. So for the environmental, our strategy is really centered around using less material, being the most efficient that we can with material and energy, and then using materials and energy from the most sustainable sources. So I think that really aligns with an economic perspective when I think about it. Using less material has a cost savings. We don't get the emissions from that material. And so using less is the number one priority for us. And it's good for our business. It's good for our product. It's good for reducing the environmental impact. Secondarily, we have this perspective because we do think not offering a sustainable product, especially in the spaces we work like snowboarding, ski, cycling, is going to hurt our market growth in the future. So not only do we want to reduce these things to have savings now, we also need to have a lower environmental product so that in the future, as consumers are more and more willing to spend for sustainability, as sustainability becomes more of a focus of their purchasing decisions, they don't have to question, does BOA align with my values? Because BOA is already there. And so I thought that was interesting to read because we make these strategies, but we don't necessarily align them with the perspectives that we're coming from. We just think about them, right? And we all naturally have a perspective, but being able to see those perspectives and then correlate it, it's interesting. But in regards to the social aspect, we're a global brand now. We were mainly headquartered in Denver. However, now, especially with COVID, we have developed our teams all across the world in Europe and Asia, really to make sure that we're working effectively at all times. COVID really shut down travel, and so instead of Denver headquarter employees being able to go to these places for contract manufacturer or brand meetings, we really needed teams that could support that in those regions. And so, I think it's easily correlated to globalization, increased communication, and we've been able to do that effectively. The last part is how we really use our influence to pressure contract manufacturers and push them to be more socially responsible. BOA doesn't actually produce any product, we design it. We use contract manufacturers in Asia to manufacture these things. And so with the revenue that we have, with the values that we've had, we've really been able to push manufacturers in China and Vietnam and the Philippines to reduce working hours, to provide social safety nets, so paternity leave, maternity leave, health insurance if it's not offered, retirement accounts if it's not offered, maintaining pay at lower working hours, better standard of living, so making sure that the pay is a living wage and not just acceptable for the minimum wage. So I think it was really interesting to read the text, come back, look at my organization's CSR strategy, and then really be able to look at how the text aligns with our beliefs, even though we didn't necessarily come to those beliefs through the text. They're heavily correlated to the strategies of all of these companies. So thanks.